and you can buy a house, you can buy a duplex all the way up to a 4-unit and put only 3.5% or 5% down and live in it.
Would you mind sharing with our listeners two things? One, what is a house hack?
Okay, sure.
For people who don't know what that is, and then obviously what is a BRRRR as well.
Sure. House hack is, I think, it'd be hard to argue against being one of the single greatest ways to get into real estate. Essentially what you do is you leverage the 30-year fixed loan, low down payment loan. You could pay 3.5%, 5% down, 10% down of the total loan balance. And you can buy a house, you can buy a duplex all the way up to a 4-unit and put only 3.5% or 5% down and live in it. Now, when you live in it, what that does is that reduces your overall expenses. For most American, housing is about 30 to 35% of their total monthly expenses. So when you reduce that, what you do is you're essentially saving all of that money. But you're not only, I like to point this out, you're not only saving that money, you're also acknowledging the opportunity cost of paying that money towards rent instead of investing it in real estate. Because now that, or whatever you want to invest in it, now that you have that money that you're saving every month, you can allocate that to buy more real estate. You can allocate that to invest in your education or save more money or do whatever, go on vacations. That's great. And so I say that's one of the single greatest ways to get into real estate. Someone else pays for your living expense. Number two, you said, was the BRRRR strategy. The BRRRR strategy is rooted in finding a distressed asset, a property that is under market value. Maybe it's 60%, 70%, 50% of market value, but it requires a lot of work to fix up. Maybe there's a roof issues, there's rats infesting the house, which I purchased a house with rats everywhere. It's absolutely crazy. I mean, everything. Or maybe it's just a property in which the property owner is actually just wants to get rid of it. I mean, you guys have purchased apartment buildings from people maybe that wanted to get rid of them at a price that was below what you thought the property was worth, which is why you purchased it. When you buy this property, the second R is rehab. What you do is you say, hey, I think this property is going to be worth $500,000 when it's done. I bought it for $250,000. If I put in $100,000, I think I'm going to be able to have that $500,000 so I can go back to the bank and tell the bank, hey, this property is worth $500,000. I want to refinance it, which is the fourth step. I skipped over rent it out. You got to put a renter in there at that point. You rent it out when it's nice, you fix it up. And then after that, you go back to the bank and you say, hey, I'm going to refinance this property, and you can get all your capital out. Plus, in some instances, as you guys both know, you can get more of your capital out. And when you get more of your capital out, it's not like flipping a property. Flipping a property, you have to pay capital gains taxes. A lot of times it's short-term capital gains, which just wallops you with taxes. Instead, because it's debt, it's thought of differently in the eyes of the IRS. So it's actually tax-free. And then the R is repeat. You keep doing it. As real estate investors, it's kind of like an addiction. When you start buying real estate, you just got to feed the addiction and you keep going and going. So that's the BRRRR method in the house hacking.
So thank you so much for listening to this video. If you found value in this content, please go ahead and like down below and subscribe and ring that bell so you'll be notified when we have new content that comes out. Finally, if you're interested in investing passively with Suzy and I, we have a lot on our schedule for 2022. So please be sure to just go ahead and reach out to us. You can email us at exploремore@adventurousrei.com, and we'll be sure to respond to your email and set up a call so we can get to know you a little bit better.
Absolutely.
Until next time, explore more, adventure awaits.
Woo!